Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Superhero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what, I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people. Right. You want people to care. You want to strike emotions. And I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one too.
Quarter pounder with cheese in France, Mickey? What? Boy, ale with cheese, Mickey. Yeah. I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice that my progeny to you, almighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success? Hey everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. Oops, I am your host, Dave.
The clumsy. And I'm John.
JD, I guess.
The awesome.
The awesome? The wordsmith. How's that?
Ooh.
I'm wearing sunglasses. Little kid sunglasses, actually.
No. Sunglasses, shades. You're wearing
Little
shades.
Kid. I think they're Spider-Man's.
They are, actually. That's pretty cool.
Andy.
Is the future so bright you got to wear shades, JD?
No, I don't think so.
Nobody listening to this is going to understand that except us.
I think people listening to us probably will understand that. I'm pretty sure that's our audience.
So how are you, JD? What is new? Anything fun this week?
I'm busy. Like, this new job is just eating up a lot of time. And then on the weekends, I'm trying to finish up all my bookings that I had taken before starting teaching. So I just I'm really busy right now and I don't like it, but to make things even more busy, I got a new Kickstarter. I'm going to launch on the 11th of this month, Halloween time. My first novel will go back into print. We're going to do a hardcover, my first ever hardcover book. And I'm pretty excited about it. It's a book called Hawk Hollow. It's a story about a bunch of like middle school age kids trapped in a commercial haunted house with a family of redneck demonic jinn. The problem is they don't know who is working at the haunted house trying to scare them and who's actually trying to kill them.
Well, okay then.
Yes. So that is the first book I ever wrote, and it's time for a re-release, and we're doing it in time for Halloween. So this time, you back the project. The second the project ends, you're going to get the digital version right in time to have something to read for Halloween season.
Wait, what is a redneck djinn?
It's exactly what you think it is.
Well, djinn, for those who don't know, djinn is a genie, right?
Djinn is a genie. We've done our own version of them. They're theorized as maybe, but they are rednecks for sure. Ifrits,
Jinn, Jan. There's a whole hierarchy.
Yes, we don't steer into any of that stuff. We have fun with the mythology and do something of our own. And like I said, I got a good story about this book that I'll tell when we're actually pushing the wares. That's a little close to home. It was very close to home because my story. But I mean, yeah, so I'll tell the story when we get close to it. But yeah, I'm excited to do that. We'll see if that's the project that puts things over the top and makes me lose my mind completely.
Wait, you haven't already?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's possible. I won't know for sure until I try this.
Okay, then. And how about you, John?
I got nothing. Work is still keeping me busy, and yeah, that's about it. I've got nothing. My life is boring, let's call it.
This is the end.
Wow, you're making me sad.
Sad? No, just got nothing going on. That's it.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'll probably sound better once the new season of anime starts.
Oh, there you go. All right.
How are you, Dave?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. Let's see. I went to the Philadelphia Art Museum today because we're getting all the
Is that the one with the steps? Is that the one with the stairs? Did you
go up the stairs? The steps with the Rocky.
Yeah.
Yes. Our most famous sports icon.
Sadly. That of the Broad Street Bullies. Lenny Dykstra. Not a lot in Philadelphia now that I think about it.
Hextall, maybe.
Let's be real. It's Rocky.
Yeah, so went there. And it's funny, like, I didn't know this. Karen pointed this out, that the steps, the door at the top of the steps, they don't use that entrance anymore. Like, it's closed off to the public. You have to go in one of the side entrances.
Probably got tired of people running up the stairs.
Probably, but people still do it.
Yeah.
Though, like I said, we're getting all the rain from the hurricanes now being dumped on us.
Are you
For
really?
3 days now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been raining straight for 3 days.
It's supposed to start letting up tomorrow, so fingers crossed.
And this is how much rain we got from it. You see the pictures. And
Florida rough.
Yeah. So that's what you do on a rainy day. You go to the art museum, and then we had dinner, and then got ready to do this.
Oh, you sound enthused.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I also watched, this wasn't on we didn't say to watch this for the podcast, so I don't know if you guys watched it, but the new Rob Zombie movie on Netflix.
God, no.
The Munsters.
I've even the reviews were rated F. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I tried my best to watch it. I actually fell asleep watching it, and I'm like, I can't go back. I can't go back and finish it. I loved the show when I was a kid, but no.
But the mentality that you need to enjoy that kind of slapstick and just stupid comedy is not in our society anymore.
It's definitely not in Rob Zombie.
No,
oh God,
well, that's the whole thing. Like, I could watch a movie like that and enjoy it. Rob Zombie is not the guy to make that movie. And this is proof of it. Like, it's not good.
I think that it is time for we as a society to finally admit that Rob Zombie is not a good filmmaker.
Thank you.
House of a Thousand Corpses sucked. The Devil's Rejects is mildly better. He did not improve the Halloween franchise.
No,
in fact, he made it worse. Like, I think he kind of sucks, to be quite honest with
you. Yeah, and there was just like weird choices. Like, obviously, it's the origin story of when Lily met Herman.
Again,
right?
Going back to a well that's been dry for decades and still mining it because nobody has any good ideas.
Hold on, but let me get to like what's one of the weird choices is like the first time Lily sees Herman, they do this thing where like it's just her and there's like the background is all hearts and it's obviously like a green like a thing where they're shooting light hearts on it, behind her. Like it's just poorly done. And then the first time Herman sees her, it's the same thing. And like they do that gag a couple times in the movie, and I'm like, just like it doesn't work for a lot of reasons. But one, it just looks bad. Like, why are you doing this?
So they took a gag that was bad and then like beat it to death.
Yes, basically. Yes, yeah. And then like it's all over the place. There's this whole obviously that's we all know Herman is a Frankenstein monster. And it is like when they're making him, and there are two brothers that die, and one is a world-renowned physicist, and the other is a bad stand-up comic. And of course, they mix up, and they both die at the same time, but they go to get the brain of the physicist, and of course, they get the wrong brain. A joke that was
done, the Abby Normal, yes.
done in Young Frankenstein.
Mel Brooks, yes.
Yeah.
And it was just like, really? And then it's like, yeah, and then he starts off as a bad stand-up comedian, then all of a sudden he's in a punk band singing jokes. It was just like, what is this? Like, and I'm sorry, his wife is not a good actress either.
No, she used to be hot, so that's why she was in everything. I'm not so sure if that's the case anymore.
She's still attractive. I mean, especially when you cover her completely in white makeup.
That's
the other weird choice. Like, they have Herman in green but bad 60s green makeup, and Grandpa is in like blue makeup, and Lily's all in white, and it's just like
weird because I don't think the real Grandpa Al wore blue makeup. Like,
well, remember the original stuff. The original thing was in black and white.
But
right, but they did movies in color later on.
Yeah,
well,
but
hold on. Super Scary Saturdays, hosted by Grandpa Al on Superstation TBS. He was not in blue face paint for that. I did not. That is a formative show of my youth, good sir.
Yeah.
Zombie sucks, man. I mean, it's a shame because Dragula, a Rob Zombie song inspired by the Munsters, kind of rules.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie, good musician, terrible filmmaker. There I say.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. Like, I just was like, this is bad. I just couldn't finish watching it.
That is exactly what I've seen on Twitter all weekend, is that whoever stopped to watch the Munsters, like, this is not good.
there are like 20 reviews of it that I saw on YouTube, and all of them are just like,
that's what pissed me off the most. Like, I want to like this, and it's just like, ugh.
He's not made a good movie. Just hasn't.
No, and I didn't see his Halloween, and I'm a big Halloween fan. And
I saw the first one.
Yeah,
he did too.
Yeah, he has the sequel.
Well, he tried to put more he put more explanation back into where Michael Myers came from. It's like, no, he's just the scary thing about him is he's just a psycho. Like, you know,
John, I want to take what you're saying and I want to circle back to it when we do our reviews later, or when we do our recommendations later in the show. Please remind me.
Okay, because it's the same thing they did with Joker. You know, you didn't need to know who he was or his real name or anything. The point is that you don't know where he is, where he's from, who he is, and that's one of the scariest things about him.
When you take the monster to the dentist and look at his teeth,
yes,
they aren't as scary.
I like that.
I just came up with it right now. I'm very proud of myself.
Of course, the other thing I did this week that I do every week, and I'm sure JD hasn't done, is watch She-Hulk. How about you, John? Are you caught up?
Of course I did. I'm really enjoying that show, and I mean, it's nice that it's, you know, like little vignettes basically of just little stories here and there, a couple of characters going through it, and then in the background is the big bad that's probably going to be the big ending.
Yeah.
But I think it's done really well. I mean, I think there are too many people that are too addicted to action that are like poo-pooing it because it's like, oh, I want to see her fight things, and it's like, yeah, but you know, a lot of the story about She-Hulk is character stories, not, you know, punching stories. So and she's interesting. And Tatiana Maslany, she's killing it. She's awesome.
So, it's funny. I definitely agree. There are people that would want a movie that they think they would want a movie or a show that's nonstop action from the opening scene to the end credits. But you would get bored with that very quickly, you know? And just like in Marvel fashion, there's just enough action intermixed with the story that's going on. And they keep doing such a great job of doing the duality between She-Hulk and Jen. Like,
yes,
that's what the whole show is. And if you're not watching it, you don't get it. Like, I don't know what you're watching. The people who are complaining about the show, it's like,
and the episode today really hit. I mean, it hit me pretty hard. I'm sure it hit a lot of people pretty hard because it had a lot to do with, you know,
modern dating.
Modern dating and the person you present to other people compared to the person you are at home or the person you are with your friends, and, you know, whether people will like you for you and as you are instead of, you know, the you that you present formally out to the world to protect yourself. It's just, it's got a lot of levels to it. It's pretty good.
Do they play David Bowie's Modern Love?
No.
No? Do you have a recommendation you want to make? Andy just stepped in. Do you have a recommendation you want to tell them they should watch? Do you have anything you want to tell them? What show do you like? What show are you liking watching right now? You're shockingly quiet. I've given you an open mic. And
honestly,
come say it in the microphone.
I'm honestly probably gonna say all of them, probably the Headless Horseman.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's highly recommending that everyone watch the Legend of Sleepy Hollow from Disney.
Nice. That's a good one.
We're on Halloween season, and this is his favorite Disney show.
Not the one with Johnny Depp.
No, I've never seen one. Watch that. One, it's bad. Two, it's a little too violent for a second.
Well, yeah.
3, it's bad.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna hang out here while Dad does the show?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you can get your tablet and get some headphones on.
So yeah, I mean, it was funny though. I will say this: when he ghosted her after they slept together, I kind of felt like, oh, there's something more to this. You know, I didn't think it was he just ghosted her. There was too much going on where he seemed like he was playing a long game. Well,
wait. Didn't you catch one of the first texts? Is like he said we could meet somewhere, or I could meet you at your house, and she texted back to it. It was quick, but you had to like freeze frame it. But and her reply to it was, "How do you even know where I live?" It's like at that point it was like, oh, he's a plant.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, but I know you felt it, John, when she got ghosted.
I've been ghosted many times. It is never fun, even when you expect it, even when you're ready for it. It's not fun.
It's a shame that's what ghosted means, and not to make pottery with your significant other before you're violently murdered and to come back to life. Channel to Whoopi Goldberg. That's what ghosted should mean.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That was pretty good, man.
Thanks.
It could just
awesome.
mean make pottery with your loved one. It doesn't mean that they get violently murdered.
Then you wouldn't be ghosted. It's got to be a ghost.
It could just be a reference to the movie. It doesn't have to be a reference to death.
Halloween, man. It's October 2nd. We got to like crank this shit up.
Yeah.
Well,
boop, 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 boop.
Oh, no.
Halloween.
No,
Halloween.
not that.
29 days till Halloween. Silver Shamrock.
Right.
What a terrible movie that was, but a great little jingle.
The jingle lives on. The jingle is the only reason that movie's still like remembered.
People, there's like a cult following for that movie. So I'm gonna take quick little thing. That movie is why I'm the way I am. When I was younger than Andy, probably like 3 or 4, my grandmother passed away, and my older cousin babysat me and thought it was appropriate to let me watch Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, at 3 or 4. And all I could remember was the bugs crawling out of the mask and eating the kid's head.
Oh my God, yeah.
Burned in my subconscious forever. And like for years, the idea of the thought of watching Halloween was terrifying. And then when I finally saw the movie Halloween, I said, where are the kids with the masks? I had no idea at the time that was actually Halloween 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on to watch that movie years later, building it, because at this point it had taken like cult-like status in my own brain. And then I saw it and I went, this freaking sucks. It's absolutely terrible.
Yep.
So yeah, but that movie messed me up beyond all recollection. This is why I am the way I am, is because of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Not even the good Halloween movie, the bad one. The bad one doesn't fit with the other bad one. There's never even been an attempt, and all the Halloween sequels and reboots and deboots, no one's ever even attempted to pull Season of the Witch in.
No.
Like not even like, even when they made Michael Myers a druid thing, there was not like, oh yeah, by the way, we also happened to do these things with masks this one time. No, like it's just been like, it's like they try to completely forget it ever happened. It's so weird.
God, so they're doing like millions of prequels for Star Trek. They even had Rob Zombie do a prequel for the Munsters, and they still won't touch that one.
No. Well, we're getting Halloween Kills, which is the third. I've done it before on this show where I've broken down the tree of Halloween, the tree of woe, if you will, the various branches on the Halloween continuity. This will be the third and final chapter on the Laurie Strode isn't Michael Myers' sister tree.
Oh my God.
John Carpenter's like, whatever, man, make me money. I'm gonna play video games.
Yeah, pretty much. He stopped caring, I think, a long time ago.
He did the soundtrack to the new Firestarter movie that came out this year.
Yeah.
He did a good soundtrack to a shitty movie. The original Firestarter sucks. The new Firestarter makes it look like On the Waterfront.
Oh my God.
I almost said Anne of Green Gables for some reason. I'm like, no.
Why would you? That's
first thing that popped into my head was Anne of Green Gables.
I don't remember anybody's heads exploding on Anne of Green Gables.
No, I was like,
neither one. But there's the original series they did. What was it, in the 80s? I think.
Are we talking about Halloween or Anne of Green Gables? Like,
Anne of Green, both. Yeah, both still live.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's 2 series of Anne of Green Gables. Yes. I like the original. That was the one I grew up on.
Oh my God. Anyway, speaking of things that suck, let's do a little social media madness.
Get that audio drop when we have to do social media madness. That from Halloween 3 to let you know that what's coming is not good.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about Ezra Miller.
May cause bugs to crawl out of your eyes.
Weekly.
who apparently is Jesus with a harem. We talked about that. Was it last week? And then, but yet they're still making the movie. To which
still making it, or still going to show it?
Still coming out. To which Drew C said, "I think Black Adam will be an indicator of how willing they are to move forward. If it's 300K or so, they might scrap the rest of the Flash movie. If it's 900K, they will be pushing to get Flash out quick." The Gorilla Brain podcast said, I never cared if it did or not. I just wanted Keaton.
I agree with that.
And Shadow Walker the Demon said, I'll say scrap the movie and fire Ezra Miller permanently from any work.
I agree with that one.
I mean, I can't disagree with that. I'd like to scrap him and add Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo?
Scrappy Doo would be a better actor for this movie.
Oh my God.
Puppy power.
You know, Scrappy Doo ruined Scooby Doo, right? Like that's
no. See, I am of the age where Scrappy Doo is just fine. Like, there's no. I mean, it was okay. Now my son, who's sitting in this room with me, loves Scooby Doo. It is the same thing over and over again. They gave you the same exact episode 643 times. At least when Scrappy came on, there was some variance.
You think?
I like Scrappy Doo. I think he's a martyr and a savior and a complicated man, much like Ezra Miller.
Okay, then.
It's one of those weeks, guys.
Yeah.
Moving on. Our good friend Kassan Warden tweeted at us, 2 things. I like when you guys discuss the industry at large. The implications are significant, especially when it comes to who will own DC if Warner Brothers is sold. I can see Apple, Netflix, or Amazon buy them in that order.
I can absolutely see Warner. If Warner Discovery goes, I don't know. Why would
don't forget Comcast is looking at them now hard because they wanted to buy Warner, I think, but I guess Discovery beat them out. But now the stock price is going down. And everybody's looking at them.
Don't forget, they also wanted to buy Fox too. Comcast.
They did. They did. Are they talking about? Is he talking about just buying Warner, or is he talking about buying DC? Because if Discovery Warner is looking to salvage itself, maybe they would. I don't know. That's a big part of that.
That'd be like jettisoning the warp core, for crying out loud.
I don't know what that means.
That's the one thing that's the one thing that's guaranteed to make money if they did it right. And they jettison DC out of everything that they've got out of that merger?
It depends. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I've almost got myself talked into the fact that it might happen, but no, I don't think they can. There's too much value in Batman.
Yeah, that's the main, not the main, but it's like the biggest.
I think it is like the main. I think that's what
their main IP that's worth the most.
I mean, other than Bugs Bunny, what else does Warner have? You know,
well, they've got 120 years of films and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, honest to God, but those aren't making a lot of money for them right now. Like,
unless
they go services, like,
unless they go back and like do something from the Harry Potter IP, like they're the 2 biggest IPs. Is DC?
They are, but the Dumbledore, what do you call things? The Fantastic Beasts movies. They're not what the Harry Potter things were.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If they try, I think they're going to make the Unborn Child or everything it's called, the Harry Potter, the book that came out a couple years ago.
No, it's not it's the,
what is it?
The play.
You mean the one? What's that?
It's a play, and they put the play together as a book, and it came out, and there is talk of making that into movie.
There is
something.
But I mean, like,
the Cursed Child, I think.
Cursed Child. That's what it is. I think you get one out of those. With Batman, there's like an infinite pool.
Yeah.
You know, with Superman, there's like an infinite pool of stuff they can screw up.
Speaking of infinite pools that can screw up, Kassan continued on. I watched the first 2 episodes of Quantum Leap. I agree. It is not entertaining. They are using an omniscient point of view and playing keep away with the big secret. An audience knows what they are being manipulated and will reject it. Just like when the writers shoved the love between Ben and Addison down our throats in the beginning, it wasn't genuine. It was an attempt to making an audience feel pain when Ben leaped. A good writing team would have shown us the love and the pain.
And they would have taken more time to make sure that we got it, you know? They would have shown it, not told.
Yeah, love and the pain of separation after the leap. Doing so would have allowed more time for the emotions to breathe. Quantum Leap is a good example of when the writers don't trust the audience to pick up on the character and plot development on their own.
Yes,
I agree with that. I think it's a pretty good analysis.
Yeah. Want a job, Kassan?
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Maybe he can write some reviews for the website.
Are you interested? Reach out to us at Superhero Speak.
Moving on, we talked about James Earl Jones is officially retiring the voice of Darth Vader. And we said, well, I said in a tweet, who could ever take his place?
AI.
AI. That's the answer to that question. Yes.
To which Timothy Jones replied,
yes.
Rick Moranis.
Oh, jeez. Although I'm fully backing that idea. That's awesome.
And then the Cartoonist Society replied with, it didn't go over your helmet, more to the side.
You went over my helmet?
Sour grapes, ladies and gentlemen, available in finer newspapers across the country.
The takeaway from that is that when the Terminators do come for us, they're all going to sound like James Earl Jones now.
I'm okay with that. Like, if I'm gonna die, I might as well die impressed. Like, hey,
yeah, I mean, exactly. If something's gonna kill you, you want it to sound like Darth Vader, don't you? Like, then you're like, okay, all right, fine, I get it.
You don't know the power of
the AI.
Yes.
Did you guys hear Bruce Willis sold his likeness to an AI company?
Yes.
A deep fake company, something like that.
He sold it to a company that makes deep fakes. He sold his likeness so that they can use him digitally in movies going forward.
What an ego.
Yeah, but I'm sad that, I mean, that's going to happen.
He's not doing well. Like, he's got, I forget what specific
aphasia. Yeah, he can't remember.
He can't remember words. Like, I've got aphasia. Sometimes when I try to say something, you'll see me like stutter a lot because I'm trying to get the word out. But that's
because you're drunk.
No, it's part of my ADD. But the thing is that, like, when you get it, like he's got it, that's a real disease, and it only gets worse. It's like dementia. It's really bad.
Yeah,
you kind of lose your ability to communicate.
And apparently it's come out that he's had it for a while. It's just gotten so bad where he can't remember the scripts and the lines anymore.
Well, it's because he's been in I mean, you kind of knew something was up because he was in I've got a couple of people on YouTube that I watch, like the Cinema Snob, and they do reviews of off shows, like shows that that aren't going to make it to the movie theaters, or like only make it limited release, or only make it to video or whatever. And like Bruce Willis has been in a lot of those lately, and the rumors were that they were just feeding him lines, with an earpiece or something, and he would wander around the lot not knowing. Yeah, like they would have to manage him sometimes, and it's a shame.
Yeah. Well, age will get to you, and doing a lot of stunts is not good. Hit your head too many times, you'll end up like John. All right.
What kind of sucks? His wife is only 44 too. She's gonna have trouble with that.
Yeah. And finally, we talked about Keanu Reeves has been confirmed to be doing Constantine 2. Another great decision by Warner Brothers.
You know what? I think that movie deserves another look. Like, I think at the time it was really reviled, but I think because we have a new appreciation as a culture for Keanu Reeves, that I don't think it's as bad as even I thought it was when it came out in 2005. Like, it's not bad. It's not the DC version of Constantine. It's very different, but it's all right.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad either. I mean, it wasn't bad enough for me to not like it. It's
not a comic accurate version of Constantine.
Well, I was going to say the something cast said, while Constantine,
what a great name, by the way. Kudos, fellas.
While Constantine isn't amazingly faithful to the source material, it is one hell of a fun ride.
Yeah,
curious to see what the plot of the sequel. And then, of course, the Gorilla Brain podcast said, John Constantine is my favorite hero in all of comics. I like the original and still defined it. It aged better. Still defend it. Sal, sorry. Yeah. It aged better than most movies of the genre in that time.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
I am here for it. So, yeah.
And, Rachel Weisz was in it. She was good. Keanu Reeves was good. Tilda Swinton was in it, and she was, scary as always.
Yeah, she's good.
Like, and the way it ended, the hook, like Constantine always outsmarts the other side. And in this, he did exactly that. I mean,
it's true. It's not as bad. Twitter sometimes forces people to like remember, hey, remember this wasn't that bad. That's one of them. Also, remember the intro scene of Blade? That's been floating around the last couple days.
Yeah.
That ruled. The original intro for Blade, the vampire orgy gone amok.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Awesome. And this movie's about vampire, 90s vampires. When they're doing all that stuff. And then Wesley Snipes shows up and kills them all. It's wonderful.
Well, that is all the social media madness for this week. So if you would like to be a part of social media madness and follow us on some other great podcasts, here's our good friend D Square to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Want to be part of social media madness? Make sure you are following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the show's social media links at the top of the page. While you're there, you can check out old episodes of the podcast as well as some other great content. Check the site often because we are posting some great comic reviews as well as comic book and movie news content every day. Make sure and follow us on Twitter at SuperheroSpeak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. You can follow them at @stars_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prison Power Podcast, Cult 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for #GWAllStars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
Thanks for that, Don. And I will continue to say until you tell me to stop. Don't forget to check out the Omega Level podcast, available on YouTube and wherever podcasts are available.
Omega Level Nerds.
Omega, isn't that what I said?
To the Omega Level podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Omega Level.
I assume
Nerds
I assume that's a different show.
Oh, maybe it is. If not, copyright that now. All right.
It's a good name. It's a good name, actually.
On that note, John and I are going to explain what ejecting the warp core means while we take a quick commercial break.
Keep that thing in your pants, man.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, we're back. Anyway, JD, ejecting the warp core kind of goes along with our first news story this week.
Do you need a box of Kleenex?
See,
no? Okay.
So Paramount has taken Star Trek 4 off of their release schedule. So in Star Trek, I have to, this is bugging me. So in Star Trek, especially in the Next Generation, they did a lot. Whenever there was like a big problem and the ship might blow up, or there was an issue with the warp core, they would eject it and it would like go float out in space and it would blow up. And like, I don't know how much a warp core will cost, but the Enterprise has got to be responsible for half of Starfleet's budget for warp cores.
Yeah.
Was it like reversing the polarity on the Enterprise?
No, it's like basically the warp core is the engine for the Enterprise. So you or any Federation starship. So like you eject the warp core and you're pretty much dead in space. You've got impulse engines that's not going to get you to the next like solar system. You're kind of stuck.
Huh.
So it would, but they sometimes relied on it too much and it became a meme, eject the warp core.
Yes.
Like,
so
you're dead in the water.
So is anyone like, I'm actually not surprised by this news. Like, I don't know who was clamoring for Star Trek 4.
Not after the mess they made of the con thing. Oh God.
That was the second one though.
That was the second one.
I know. I just
the third one's better. I thought so. Than the con.
I also kind of feel like Brave New World is getting a lot of praise online,
but
and I kind of feel like that's the direction they kind of want to go in the future.
Oh, Brave New World is like that's Roddenberry's vision, pretty much, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't have.
I've seen enough
Paramount
of it.
Plus.
I mean, I don't have Paramount Plus. It's the only one I haven't really subscribed to. But I've seen enough. I've seen enough of it though that it feels like original series Star Trek. Like, I mean, a little too much time travel. I wish they'd get off of that horse. But otherwise, I mean, it's got the original feel to it. It's not the weirdness with Discovery or the this offshoot timeline, the Kelvin timeline. Like, it's just, I don't know. The movies, I just never really liked the movies. They're just too much Fast and Furious in space.
I liked the first one.
The first one was
Because I
God.
thought that was a very Star Trek way to reboot the series, but then after that, it was just like I'm sorry, doing Khan in the second was so unoriginal, but it's kind of like doing a new Star Wars movie years later and just kind of redoing A New Hope. Oh wait,
but they broke so many things in that first movie, like drop off Kirk on a random planet. Oh, that just happens to be where Spock
but that's
is.
how a lot of movies work.
They invented, was it beaming somebody from ship to ship while in warp drive? It's like all these things, like in Khan's super blood. They should be able to cure anything now. It's like they just, everything is a deus ex machina. It's or a MacGuffin. Everything is, and then it's just all action. It's like they don't need the whole point of Star Trek was more intellectual, cerebral problems. Yeah, sometimes they had action, especially when the Borg show up, but it was the writing was way better back in the day, and it's all just feels like cash grabs to me.
Right. And but even when they face the Borg, like they don't just they try to engage them militarily, but they realize they can't. So then they have to think their way out of how do we handle the Borg? Like that's the whole point. And that's also one of the things that bugged me about Enterprise, believe it or not, was in the first or second episode, they had regular weapons, and all of a sudden it's like, here's a phaser. Like there was no struggle where they needed a better weapon, and they had someone trying to figure out how do you create an energy weapon that you can carry around or whatever. No, it was just all of a sudden it's like, okay, no, here's a phaser. Like there was no build up to it, where they did that in the Next Generation, where you saw them struggle against the Borg many times, and then slowly they
developed all these different technologies, like ablative hulls and rotating the phase of their shields and all that,
right?
And all these different things that eventually came. And yeah, it took literally seasons for all that stuff to start to accrue, where they could actually battle them effectively. And yeah, in Enterprise, it was pretty. I never liked Enterprise either, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway,
JD,
so
are you upset?
I'm not unhappy that 4 is not going to be around. I wish they would just get off this Kelvin timeline thing and start working with the actual heart of Star Trek, what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be Star Wars. It's supposed to be Star Trek.
That's never going to happen, because unfortunately Gene Roddenberry's gone, and there's no one that wants to protect his vision. I don't think, because they're afraid it's not going to make money. So
that's the problem. But that goes back to what we were talking about before: treating the audience with respect and like they're intelligent. They're not treating the audience with respect or as they're intelligent. They over-explain everything. Everything's got to be action. I mean, yeah, you'll get an audience for that because, hey, Transformers is the stupidest thing I've ever seen on, but you got action, you got explosions, you got Michael Bay. I mean, it's like, yay.
You got a giant robot with balls.
Yeah, God, or leaking oil like he's pissing. God.
I feel that way you guys feel about the Star Trek movies, about the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
Or the Ninja Turtle movie that Michael Bay.
Yes.
I think there's two. I didn't see the second one, but that's how, so I can sympathize, but I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of sympathizing, not sympathizing, I guess, I don't know. So William Hurt played Thunderbolt Ross.
And is dead.
And apparently, I've seen this in a lot of different places. It's not 100% confirmed, it's rumor, but you know how this stuff goes. They want to replace him with Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford's too old too. They gotta go with somebody younger. And Harrison Ford has a history of hating the things he's in later.
That's true.
And also, why wouldn't you just go back to? I mean, he's old as well now at this point. But the mustache
that narrows it down.
From Hulk.
Who was? Hold on. Wait, I forget. Ang Lee, Hulk.
So Harrison Ford is what?
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Right.
That's the move. That's the move right there. Actually,
if you're going to recast, just bring Sam Elliott back. Why bring in Harrison Ford? What?
Yeah, everyone's old. They want an old guy to play him. What do you want to do?
That old.
John, what do you want to do? Cast him with I don't know, Harry Styles? Got to be.
I'm not asking for a baby, but you could at least put somebody in there who's say under.
Okay, well,
60.
Sam Elliott is 78.
Right.
Jeez, how old's Harrison Ford?
He was born in 1942, so that's 60,
He's 80.
70, 80.
So there you go. Sam Elliott's younger.
By 2 freaking years. And yet, I mean, I don't know.
I don't see it either. Like,
they need somebody to hang around for at least 10 years, you know? You're not going to get, you're not, and somebody can do at least a little bit of action. I mean, they're basically rolling Patrick Stewart around on set in a wheelchair these days just to keep him going.
You know what the move is? You know what the move is? Eric Bana.
Oh my God. Well, he's a method actor. He could probably do it.
I think Eric Bana would be what you do.
But everybody hated him. That's why he lost that.
That was
gig.
Edward Norton.
Oh, that was Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Eric Bana was from Ang Lee.
Yeah, no, you're right. You could do that. Huh.
He is 54.
But you can make him older. Like, no one ages anymore because, Hugh Jackman's in his 50s too. But, he don't look it.
But
nobody 50.
His genetics are different than most humans. Like, let's.
Dear weights. That's okay. USADA's not coming to the scene of a film or to the set of a film. So, yeah, man, that's my call. That's what I would do. And then you could have him do the Red Hulk.
Yeah. Yes, that's the whole point. You need somebody who can do a little bit of action,
Right. Well, especially because the fans, I don't know how much Marvel wants this, but the fans want Red Hulk. So, like, I can see the argument of wanting someone who can do action if you're going to bring Red Hulk in, but
Andy said, you guys are boring. I'm leaving.
No. Not enough explosions, right?
We don't have the 6-year-old market cornered on this podcast.
Oh, man. That's another thing. Do we want Red Hulk in a movie?
Want is one thing. Are we going to get is another? And based on where we're headed, I don't see how we don't.
Don't you need him for Thunderbolts or for
a version of Thunderbolts, not the original?
Need him, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've already got She-Hulk. If you bring in Red Hulk, then you're basically opening yourself up to have to deal with the entire Hulk family at this point.
I thought they were teasing Abomination, which would have been a good fill-in for Hulk in Thunderbolts, but nope, they're not going that. Obviously, they're not going that direction. So yeah.
Well, not unless he's going to give them all a tambourine and tell them to sing "Kumbaya." I mean,
and I'm going to ask a dumb, loaded question: why is it we're going to run out and recast Thunderbolt Ross, but we won't recast T'Challa?
Because T'Challa's more important.
Right, T'Challa is more important of a character,
but it's harder to replace. You can replace a guy no one cares about. It's hard to replace a guy people care about.
Well, people cared about William Hurt, but he died
not in the Marvel universe.
But he died of circumstances matter. William Hurt died of natural causes. He was old, but the other guy
technically. Oh my God, why can't I think of his name?
William Hurt.
No, the actor who played
Chadwick
Boseman.
Yeah, he died of natural causes. He wasn't killed by someone.
Cancer is at his age.
Unfortunately, it happens. But yeah, like if it wasn't like he was killed in a tragic accident or he was murdered by a crazy fan,
it was a tragic accident. It's just a very slow moving accident in his body.
Well, this is true.
Cancer's nothing to sneeze at, man. I know 2 people that have got cancer right now. So
no, I'm not sneezing at it. I'm just saying it's still natural causes.
But they're
it's a bigger tragedy. It's a bigger tragedy to lose a man in his 40s than a man in his late 70s.
That's right. Okay.
It was especially among the Black community because he became he was becoming an icon. I mean, he is an icon.
Same reason it's hard to replace Christopher. We've had a lot of Supermen, but everyone always goes back to Christopher Reeve. Like when you have that much of an indelible footprint on a character, it's hard. Especially you're talking about doing it within the same series of movies. I think you're better off doing what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of characters in the Black community, Iron Wars, which was going to be a series.
Armor Wars.
Armor Wars. Did I say Iron Wars? Armor Wars.
Yes, you did.
Was going to be a series on Disney Plus, is now going to be a movie starring Don Cheadle, obviously, as War Machine.
I think that's a mistake.
I don't
know. I mean, if you think about Age of Ultron, well, his age lasted what, 24 hours or 48 hours? It's like for some stories you need more time to tell it properly. why would they take a series and suddenly make it a movie, especially one that's called Armor Wars, where there's got to be a lot of moving parts to that storyline.
My guess, this is my guess, and you guys can yell at me if you don't agree, but I think people are getting a little bored of the shows, and they're getting burnt out of the long, having 6 hours, 8 hours to watch, and it's not bringing in the revenue. It's not bringing in the subscribers to Disney Plus they thought. So they got to go back to what they know works and put them back in the theater.
I agree. I think they've done too many of the Marvel shows to the point where they don't mean anything anymore. And I truly think that there is some concern of the status of these shows, and it might be more cost effective for them to just make a movie. And plus, maybe the plot was thin. I mean, not every story needs 6 hours to tell it. Most stories are better off left in 2.
Right. That could also have been a concern. They started working with it and they're like, we don't really even have 6 1-hour episodes. So
it's funny. We didn't talk. It didn't make this list, but they fired the director of Blade because the script came in.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Less than 90 pages. And they're like, what is this? It wasn't enough. You've got all this and this is what you come up with. You got to find a medium with things.
Yeah.
And it's possible. It's possible they crunched the numbers like, this is what we'll get in the movies. And I think it's harder to make money now that we're out of the pandemic, now that we've grown accustomed to these Marvel shows, I don't think anybody's going to get Disney Plus for the show. You either already have it or, no one's winning. You're not winning anyone over. Maybe you help retain a subscriber base, but you're not getting any more. And I think that's the problem we've hit with all things.
Well, that's true. I'm just trying to think how much I can say here. No, as an insider, we are already hitting the edge of a recession, and and companies are starting to see that. And one of the things you're going to cut, is if you've got 4 streaming services and one of them you don't watch a whole lot, like Disney Plus, if you don't have kids or whatever, you're going to cut that one and keep the others. So, because
but I think Disney's the one that you're going to keep more so than Blue or Peacock, sorry, John, or Paramount Network. Disney's got some accrued interest, but at the same time, you gotta get asses in the theaters. There's a lot. They probably crunch numbers, and so there's just more money to be made by making a movie.
Yeah,
it makes me sad that could be true. Why
wouldn't it be true? Everyone fought about how much money that Warner Brothers, that was a big reason though, the Warner Media failure was that they weren't putting things in theater.
Oh, I'm just saying that I would have liked to see a longer story. There's got to be an.
I don't know, John. You ever read Armor Wars? It's not that great a story. It's Tony going around collecting all his armor. They just did it.
Right, but this is the time when they could make that work. They could actually do it.
But maybe you make it. But there's no thing saying you can't make it work in 2 hours. Everything needs 6 hours.
Mm.
And how does that? It's got to be a completely different story. How does that even make sense in the MCU with Tony?
They just want right.
Yeah.
They want the name property. It's like Secret Wars. How many times have we released Secret Wars that were never anything like the original Secret Wars?
Right. They're just gonna have Rhodey going around and grabbing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, but it might not even be that. It might be something totally different. They just like the name Armor Wars. Sounds cool.
Or was it Riri? Maybe.
Could be. I think it's it could be Riri. I think it's going to be both of them. But again, it's a risk too, right? You're replacing Iron Man, and they haven't tried yet to replace Iron Man.
No.
So maybe the way to do that is, there's a safety by doing it in Disney, but maybe it's better. Maybe they think they'll do a good enough job and they want those theater dollars. It's a risky move. It's not a guarantee. It's not a slam dunk.
Yeah. No, agreed. And speaking of streaming shows and interesting decisions, we all watched the original Daredevil on Netflix. We loved the show. Deborah Ann Wolf has come out and said no one has contacted her yet to reprise her role as Karen Page in the new Daredevil Lives Again, or Daredevil Reborn. Sorry.
Deborah Ann
coming
Woll.
on Disney Plus.
Deborah Ann Woll. WOLL.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not making it yet, and it's not like she's got to gain weight to play the role. She doesn't have to be like Hugh Jackman and go on a cycle. Do it. I'm sure they can just wait to book her, or maybe they don't use her if they're going to go Like Karen Page is not in a great. If they're using the source material, Karen Page is not in a great place during that whole story. So,
and is that something they would want to put on Disney Plus?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's possible they just have a story that doesn't involve her. I think it's a nothing burger, I believe is the phrase.
They did confirm that Foggy's back, right?
You kind of need those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the only ones that are confirmed. The other, I didn't include them, but along these lines, though, there were 2 stories that came out this week. The first one being Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen would like to have a redemption arc for Scarlet Witch within the MCU.
I'm sure she would. I mean, and I think it's coming. Because Kevin Feige this week also said, we didn't see what happened to the pile of rubble. I saw a pink flash. I don't know what you guys saw.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what he said.
Yep.
It'll happen. We're going to get the Young Avengers story. So,
and coming. Then Finn. What's
Balor.
What?
Professional wrestler. Continue.
No. The guy who played Finn Jones. The guy who played Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. Okay.
He has now come out and said he would love to reprise his role in the MCU.
No. Sorry, man. They're busy. Dial tone. It's like busy signal. Sorry.
Again, I do think a lot of that was writing and directing.
Yeah,
could be.
When you're written as a whiny baby, yeah. I mean,
he was better in Defenders than he was in Iron Fist, but he wasn't that great in Defenders either.
But there was that one episode of Power Man, what Luke Cage. There was one episode in that where they wrote him the way he should have been.
Yeah,
right. The guy who comes in completely chill, you're throwing down all of the wise
That's
tracks.
actually what he said. He would like to come back with Coulter as Cage and do a Heroes for Hire series. Which of them?
Which would be fun. That's what they should. If they were to do that, I would be on board with that.
So
as long as they didn't bring back the original writers, like the original writers from the show.
Somebody new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think
somebody who gets the character.
I think Disney has their own writers now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they keep them in a cage in the basement.
That's the animators. That's like their effects. That's their VFX people.
No, they're in the sub basement.
All right, so
hostile down there. Cut your
all of this.
Yeah.
And I've been holding off on the big news that came out this week. Ryan Reynolds on his social media announced the idea for Deadpool 3. Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine.
It had to happen.
I was so mad that this happened the day after we recorded.
Yes.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. They couldn't wait one day.
You mean they couldn't have been one day earlier? That's what you mean.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, no, if they'd have broken the news on a Thursday or a Friday, we'd have been like, okay,
we would have been golden.
About that.
Yeah.
But no, they broke it literally the day after we recorded before we dropped. So it was like, oh man, like I've been saying this for over a year now that I want one more run with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I'm very happy to get what I wanted.
Well, wasn't that also something that Jackman has said he would come back to do like a do-over with Deadpool?
Mm-hmm. No, he said he would do one for the Marvel Universe. He was he was willing to talk if the MCU wanted to use it. So yeah, great. This is awesome. Who cares what the story's going to be? It's going to be fun.
But what does this mean? What does this mean?
Nothing. It doesn't mean a damn thing. It's a movie.
But what I'm saying is, if they're bringing Deadpool into the MCU and they're bringing in Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, is he the MCU Wolverine?
They kind of made it clear that it's one shot. So I would assume that either it's from an alternate universe or something, because they've already established that we have alternate universe X-Men, right? We saw that in Multiverse of Madness. We've established that all the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU encompasses all of the Marvel movies. So yeah, I don't think it matters.
All you need to do is have Loki walk behind them and wave, and there's your explanation. Multiverse.
Didn't even need to do that. We got it with Doctor Strange without Loki. We got it in Spider-Man without Loki. Like, you just do it. We accept alternate universes now, which is good. Like, it's comics. It's comics movies. I don't really care. Give me Wolverine. Give me a proper Wolverine and Deadpool. That's what I want.
That's what we all want.
Mm-hmm.
No mouth sewn shut, laser eye.
What were they thinking?
Deadpool.
What were they thinking? I mean, like, the more time has gone, it's been 13 years since that happened, and it's mind-boggling, and it's
held up as like the perfect example of why studios should not be trusted with scripts sometimes.
Yes, for sure. Or properties, like, when you don't understand the property at all.
Yeah. And they proved they did not understand Deadpool at all.
Yeah, they casted clearly the right guy, and then they sewed his mouth shut. It's freaking astonishing.
They did more than sew his mouth shut. They gave him powers he never had in the comic.
Yeah, well, it was. Hey, Deadpool already took care of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He took him out in the end of Deadpool 2?
One of the best endings ever to a movie.
Yeah, just before he took out baby Hitler.
No, just before he took himself out, right before he recorded Green Lantern.
Right. Yeah, they clipped the baby Hitler thing, right? Like there is footage of them doing the baby Hitler,
that was cut from because the thought of killing a baby a little too much.
Well, even he was like, I think I saw the clip and it was like, oh, this is gonna be bad.
But yeah, so
nice.
Though we got to wait 2 years, well, a year and a little bit, year and a half.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. I don't care. I just want to see it. So. Yeah. All right. Well, that is all the news, guys.
Well, there's one last thing, just a little bit. Like they said, Kevin Feige has said that Werewolf by Night will actually impact. Like it's part of the MCU officially.
Has it come out yet?
No, it hasn't come out yet. No, but it's like they're saying that this is going to impact the MCU. Like this is canon. There will be after effects from it or repercussions from it, other movies, I guess, or whatever. He's just saying.
No, wait, 7th. So today is the 3rd as we're recording. Yep. So yeah, next weekend.
Today's the 2nd as we're recording.
And it's going to be gory as hell.
I will not be able to see it that weekend. I'll be in New York.
Well, unless they show it there.
Possible.
Don't pull a Ghostbusters Afterlife,
We shall see. I don't know if there's a Werewolf by Night panel. I had to check. See, now you got me thinking. Dang it. The one panel I want to go to is the Weird Al one, because I'm kind of hoping they show the movie there.
Gods.
Well, and I would like to see Weird Al in person. But anyway.
I would agree. That would be fun.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back with our main topic that our audience asked for.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, we are back, and we're going to discuss Sandman. So,
when did we make this decision to watch the Sandman?
Huh?
When did we make this decision?
At the end of last week's episode.
We did not talk about this at the end of last week's episode.
It's in the episode. We talked about it in the episode.
I just don't remember when we just said was this the episode that I missed that we did that this was like the call?
No, this was last week.
I don't think so.
Did you watch it?
Did you watch it? No.
I didn't know we had to watch it until I saw the show notes for today, and by that point the guy had already been cast. So
oh my god. So you're the biggest Sandman fan here, and you're the one who hasn't watched it.
I haven't been busy, man. I told you what things are right now. I haven't read a book. All my books that I'm reading are audiobooks lately. Like I've got no time.
JD's rolled a natural 1 on a D20, and
what does that mean?
Oh my god, Kassan is going to be so upset with you.
I didn't know we had to watch it.
Homo doctus in sempre divintia sabit.
I took Latin for 4 years, and I have no idea what you just said. Mr. Demuth would be so disappointed in me.
Now I feel like we can't talk about it because you didn't watch it.
When has that ever stopped us from talking about something?
Well, I only watched the first 2 episodes.
He's going to be our straight man. He's our straight man.
I watched the first 2 episodes. John, you watched the whole thing.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It has the same problems I have with a lot of Warner Brothers DC properties.
Can we punt this for a week? Because I'll go watch it right now.
We can punt it for a week. I would rather have your input.
Okay. Let's get the show director's thoughts on this. Dave.
We can
Can I have a mulligan?
You can have a mulligan.
So what do we talk about then, or do we just cut it short to this week?
We had a 2.5 hour plus episode last week. We were on we can do a show.
I'm kind of tired of those.
All right. Well, hold on. So here's a question for our audience: is sober Dave better or drunk Dave better?
Oh no,
drunk Dave. Drunk Dave was the thing, man. Last week.
Yeah. Like
drunk Dave was a little much, to be quite honest with you.
Even drunk John was like, "Whoa, Dave, whoa."
Dave was like intense last week. Even I'm like, "Whoa, man."
That's not going to work
Scary
for us. You're going to need to take it down a notch, or
you're at a
8.
9. I need you around like a 3.
Oh my god,
that was almost scary.
It's a shame I don't remember.
But we love you. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the show with fresh ears when you edited it?
I was like, I cursed a lot.
I noticed.
I was highly surprised how much I cursed. All right. Sorry, you guys are gonna have to wait for our coverage of Sandman one more week.
I swear to God, I'll watch it. I swear.
That is we just that wow.
I'll watch a couple more episodes, see if it gets. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's not bad. Just to see if I care a little more.
Well, watch a couple more episodes, see if it changes. Sometimes it takes a show a little while to get good.
There are there's one episode with him and Death walking around that are just it's the best. I think it's one of the best episodes of the whole thing. Probably the best episode.
I actually have heard that is probably the best episode of the series.
Yeah.
I have heard that from other people.
Yeah.
So I won't deny that, but
Come on, Nope. Did you guys see Nope? I saw Nope like a month ago.
no, I have not seen Nope.
It was good. I liked it. It was weird. It's really weird.
I'm waiting for it to stream.
It's on streaming. It's
okay.
expensive though. It's like it's a Prime, like it's like $16 to stream it.
Oh god. There's a couple of lawsuits against Amazon. This is a streaming problem. There's a couple of lawsuits against Amazon because Amazon lost the rights to a bunch of shows and they took them out. They took them out, removed access to them, and people have bought those, because you can buy movies now. This is why I still buy Blu-rays, because then I have the actual thing. If I want to rip it, I can rip it and watch it anywhere.
I can't argue that.
But
there is definitely an issue with if I pay money for something and you're hosting it, like the license transferred to me to own it.
But that's not the terms of service.
Right.
I know, and that's the problem. That is the problem, and people don't realize it.
I at least realize it.
There should actually be an easy option to download. Like you can access it on your computer. There should be an easy option to download it if you buy it from Amazon.
Well, even YouTube, like even if you do YouTube's like premium, they let you quote unquote download. No, it just lets you download into your YouTube account.
Yeah.
So you can't access it.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And if they lose the rights to it, they have to get rid of it.
Them's the rules. Yeah. So it does suck. But
which is kind of why I don't like to buy movies. I don't like to buy movies anymore at all. Like
I don't
just
either.
Go on streaming and just watch it and be done with it.
I agree. My wife still likes to buy stuff because she still enjoys rewatching things. Like she watches movies for comfort. Like if she's not feeling good, she's gonna watch the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, but they're streaming everywhere for free.
They are, but I mean, like she still owns them. Like we own them on Amazon. Or like Spider-Man. Like she'll buy it, like just to have it, so we can access it. It gets on the kid's iPad. Or what does he have? He has a Fire. So I mean, but I'm personally not a fan of buying it because I really wanted to watch. Kingcast had a audio commentary from Mike Flanagan for the director's cut of Dr. Sleep, and I'm like, you know what? I like Dr. Sleep. I'll check out the director's cut. It was $25, and I was like, I can't do it to not even have the physical in my hand.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. I'm like, because the same reasons, because I know the rules, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
One of the other things that bugs me when you buy stuff digitally and it costs the same, and it's like, but there's no distribution cost. Like I'm just downloading it from a server. It should be cheaper, but nope. And that's why they push it, because they're making more money off of you if you buy it digitally from them. Like
it's nice. Our listeners got a surprise argument. All right, this.
I don't think we're arguing. I think we're on the same page.
But we're arguing against the situation or the entertainment industry basically. Because I still buy, like I'll get series of anime or stuff like I've got a copy of Shin Godzilla, right?
Ooh,
but
you
have
to have that in this country.
No, you can. You can buy one that's region unlocked for us. The problem is that you have to get the copy that has, like, every copy you find around, even on the streaming services, it's all dubbed.
Yeah.
You can't get the subbed version. You have to order it special through Amazon.
You get the sub. Can you get the
somewhere
dom?
else.
Can you get the dominant version of it?
The what?
The Dom version of it? Where
No, not the
Godzilla's
Dom or the
just taking
yes,
it the whole time.
Shin Godzilla is pretty dumb all on his own.
So,
but no, so like, but that's the thing. Like when I went to even to rent it, it was like $14 because Toho sucks, and
so
it's expensive.
So my brother last year, I helped him build these built-in shelves in his basement because he has he's got thousands of movies on DVD and TV shows and movies on DVD and Blu-ray and 4K and all that stuff, right? Like, and it's in his entire corner of his basement is these giant shelves we built, completely filled, and he's got even more he's bought since then. And his same as John, like, because he knew that was coming. He knew that, like, you buy these movies digitally, and if they lose the license, you're just going to lose it. This way, he owns the physical copy. And I'm like, yeah, but I look at it and I'm like, how many of these have you watched? And he's got ones that are still wrapped in plastic. Like, you have a problem. But
yeah, I was that guy. Before streaming became a thing. I own lots of movies that I never saw, that I never opened, but I knew. I'm like, oh, I have to have this movie. And I never opened.
And then, but it's funny because, like, he has a podcast. Shout out to Geeksters, and they have a thing every week where they talk about what's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD that, like, would interest the nerd community and people of our age. And the list is getting shorter and shorter, and they've said that, they've noticed that, like, it's getting harder and harder to buy stuff physically.
Yeah. So here's some of the information. It was October last year, right? Woman Amanda Caudle filed class action lawsuit against Amazon, alleging that Amazon revokes access to videos purchased through its video streaming service, and said that she should have unlimited access. And it was filed in California federal court, and the judge dismissed it, saying that she did a lack of standing. She didn't have standing to bring the lawsuit. So basically, all these video streaming services that say you can, quote unquote, buy, it's Amazon mostly, but anybody that says you can buy a stream or a video online and then watch it any time, yeah, someday that might just go away. Even if it isn't the streaming service closing down itself, if the rights holder of the movie or series or whatever you bought decides that they want to, there's greener pastures, they get more money for it, another streaming service, say goodbye to whatever money you spent on that. It's just not worth it. It's too ephemeral these days.
Yes. And that's the thing too. There's so many services out there that all want to show the movie, and they want to, like, it doesn't happen as much now, but like when it first came out, they want exclusively to say, like, we've got this show or we've got this movie on our service.
Right.
So they don't want it on the other services at the same time. And I could see that affecting this too. Like, oh, well, they just signed a deal with Netflix to exclusively stream this movie. So we don't have it anymore. You don't have access to it.
Yeah. So if you're going to spend $14 to $30 to, quote unquote, buy a movie, and as Dave argued, it's the same even if you get it on physical media, because they're basically screwing you out of money buying it from the stream. Go with the physical media, because you get it there. When the rights holder takes it away from the streaming service, you still have it.
But I'm also going to say, if it's a movie where you're probably only going to watch it once, just rent it for $3 and don't worry about owning it.
True. I mean, I own a lot of movies on Blu-ray, 4K, but most of the stuff that I buy is either sentimental, because there's some old series that I really loved as a kid, and or it's stuff that I do watch again. Like this is I watch Shin Godzilla every once in a while because it's probably one of the best Godzilla movies out there.
Heard it's the best.
Yeah, it's a scary. I wish they were going to make another one. They're never going to make another one. But like, I don't know where they go with it, because this Godzilla is just too powerful. Like this like the next episode, the next movie in this series would just be like a scorched earth, a cinder, nothing left. But it'd be cool to watch. So yeah, like there you go. There's your advice. Don't buy anything on streaming, because better to just, like Dave said, rent it for the lower price if you're going to watch it, or if you really, really want it, get the physical media.
All right. I think that's a good place to put a pin in it. Let's go around. Has anyone got any recommendations? I know JD said he had something for us. Or did you learn something on the podcast this week? So, JD, you can go first.
I learned that I need implicit instructions more than a week beforehand to get anything done, which my wife will tell you is in fact the way I need to be I need to be directed.
Okay.
So before the show started today, I reread, which I listened to, I did the audiobook version of one of my favorite books of all time. It was Red Dragon, the book by Thomas Harris. It was the first of the Hannibal Lecter.
Oh yeah.
Stories. Manhunter, the Michael Mann movie, is one of my favorite movies. I'm gonna watch it again at some point this week. Like, I can't say enough good things about this book. It's a 40-year-old novel that's aged fantastically. Some of the technology is, of course, out of date, but the story itself, the character work, the use of Hannibal Lecter in a supporting role is the best way to do it. This book, I didn't realize I haven't read it in 20 years. I didn't realize how influential it was in my own stuff. Right. I didn't realize what an impact it made on me. And I love this book. I love these movies. Red Dragon, the movie kind of sucks. The Manhunter is really good. I've never watched Hannibal, the series, so I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that at some point. But this is so good. And John, I said before that you were talking about monsters and how if you know too much about the monster, he loses everything. I think Hannibal Lecter is the perfect example of that. Because in this one, you get just a small piece of him. Right. And then in Silence of the Lambs, he plays a bigger role. But it's still the outside monster. After Silence of the Lambs, they went crazy with Hannibal Lecter, and they really defanged them, right? When you start wondering why and asking questions, and it really takes away what makes the monster scary, right? And I think that this in particular really plays up the cunningness of Hannibal Lecter as a character. And Will Graham is Thomas Harris's best character he's ever created. I can't say enough good things about this. If you've never read Red Dragon, please go back and do it. It's so good. It's old, but man, is it good.
Okay. John.
I don't have much. Like there are a few early starters for the anime season. There's a new one out called I Am the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss. But there seems to be a subgenre of anime now for otome games. Otome games are games where you play as like a girl going to high school or something, and the whole thing is you're supposed to win over the boy, right? Or win over all the boys or whatever. It's not exactly a dating game. It's just a romance simulation. But there's a whole bunch of animes now that are coming out that are based on that. But I think the thing is that like this new one, I Am the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss. It's just a takeoff of another one that is actually like it's one of the first ones that came out like that. It's called My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. And I think that one is much better. So the one you want to watch is already out, and there are already 2 seasons. It's called My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. That's the one you want to see. And it's the characterizations are actually kind of fun. This is kind of like caramel coated popcorn. You can sit there and eat it and feel good about yourself. It's a fun time.
Cool.
I think I just learned something about John. All right. I will recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media at the top of the page, and hopefully more comic book reviews soon by someone, maybe Kassan, who knows. I also learned that yes, you have to beat JD into submission to get him to watch something that he should love.
I am a sub.
Recommendations. Wow. Did I watch anything this week that I would recommend?
Oh, thank you for your kind. Thank you for your kind Facebook. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay, there you go. Go out and can people still get?
It is available. It's for a brief time. It will be available paperback only on Amazon. Hit it up.
All right. Red Sunrise. You didn't say the.
Oh yeah, Red Sunrise.
The name of the book.
Yeah. So, I got my copy right here.
Yeah.
Just right here.
Yes. Yes. And you die in it again.
Yes. I wonder.
I had to find the Japanese. It didn't make sense to put an Irish guy in feudal Japan, so I had to find what O'Grady meant and find a Japanese translation of it. So
nice.
it was work, man. It was
and
work.
Wait, what is the?
I don't remember.
Wait, well, what does O'Grady mean? Do we know?
I forget. I looked it up and I was like, I was doing the whole translation thing, but that was like a month ago. So I don't remember.
You couldn't have fit like an immigrant into this, like.
There was no immigration to Japan in the 15th century.
Oh, 15th century.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Japan.
later than that.
No.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you.
Height of feudal.
I can tell you. I know. So any Polish name that ends in SKI or CKI means place of.
I didn't know.
And yes, and Markel means poppies. So place of poppies is what my name literally translates to.
Opium Den?
Yes.
You're Dave Opium Den?
I am Dave Opium.
Mine just means olive, so that's kind of cool.
Mine's from Gaelic, Ograda, which is noble.
That's
and
what it was.
And the surname,
noble.
oh, right.
Yeah. So that's what I had to find. I had to find the Japanese word for noble, and I made a comment. Yeah, okay, that's what I do remember that now.
So you have a character named that rat bastard John Noble, right?
Something like that. John Noble's actually a really good name. I'm going to write that down. John
That
Noble.
should be
That's
your
like
new name, John.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Series.
That actually does have
John
kind of
Noble. That's
John.
kind of
That's your new name now. You're John Noble.
John Noble. Hold on, I'm writing that down.
So other than that, I got nothing. Don't watch the Munsters. It is terrible.
No, yeah.
That is my recommendation.
Better
Avoid
or
that
worse?
movie at all costs.
Better or worse than Munsters Today?
What?
Remember the Munsters Today? The reboot series from like 86, 87?
Oh, it's probably worse than that.
It is worse than that.
It's got I barely
I
remember
would say,
Monsters Today.
I would say Monsters Today. I've seen one episode. I think it was the premiere episode, and I would say that was 1,000 times more watchable than this movie.
Whoa, bulls!
Imagine not just trying to do vaudeville type humor, but doing it badly in 2022.
What made Rob Zombie think he could do comedy?
I have no idea.
Comedy's hard. Writing movies about people that like get eaten by crazy people that you don't have to justify why they're crazy is not hard.
Well, his wife played Lily, right?
Yeah.
There's who convinced him.
By God, John, I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh my God, it's just so bad. Oh my God, there's this. Oh, okay, real quick. There's a scene in the beginning of the movie where Lily is dating. She's like, and they have some kind of online thing to meet people. And she dates, I don't remember the character's name, but he looks like Nosferatu from the original movie.
Shrek?
What?
Max Shrek?
Max Shrek.
That's who the original Nosferatu was.
Okay, yeah, like with the big nose and like that's who this character looks like. And they go out to dinner, and of course it's one of these things where like everything is a disgusting pun that they're ordering. And like he gets his food and and it's so disgusting. He's like slopping up all this stuff in his mouth, and it's just it's like it's not funny. It's gross, and I'm like, what? What are you doing?
You're doing horror as comedy, and you're not doing it well, basically.
Exactly. Like it's bad. Just avoid it, people. Avoid it. And on that note, as always, thanks for listening, and don't let your cake be caught in the door. Have a good week.